The idea is we can't modify the craft to make it easier to land. It's a reverse launch. It has to be exactly as it would launch off the pad, which is why I can't make modifications to it. But what I'm thinking of doing here is we resend up the first two, and I'll just send them up together. We've already done that part. And then we can resend up this part and, you know, make it happen. So what I would do is we'll save the game here. Call it fail 1. And what we'll do with it is this. This was full of fuel because we had it disabled, and the RCS was completely empty. So RCS is completely empty now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this part up with a docking port. I'll just edit it into orbit where we have it, which was 150, right? And then we'll take this, we'll relaunch this and rendezvous with it, and then we'll launch it without the grid fins, right? But did I save that? I did. Fail 1. Yeah, Space Center. Yeah. So that's how we'll do it, I guess. Charlie! Hey, what's up, Toxic? You're not a full-time YouTuber or streamer. What do you do if it's not too personal? I'm a media producer by trade, so I'm a filmmaker. This is my movie. If the website's running, if the website's working, and it is, that's my movie. It's shown on PBS for a bit, and we're gonna get it launched on the west side of this country now, instead of over here where the east side is. Seem to have missed quite a bit. Yeah, a little bit. So we'll get number 1 and number 2 in, and then we'll get number 1. And number 2, which I think is this. There we go. Like that. But we remove this and we reroute to this. Right? Like that. Okay. Now we can't change anything about the craft, but we can take 3-1. Whoops. Wrong one. There we go. Take our 3-1. Now, the first thing I have to test, right? You have to test whether or not this can get to orbit without the fins. Right? A craft that is capable of orbit landing. So, take the fins away. We'll launch it with this. If it can reach orbit with this, we're good. And I'm pretty sure it can, but it just has to be able to reach orbit from this with this. Very simple, very, very simple design. Do we have a pilot? I don't usually, oh, we have Valentina. Okay, Valentina. It's gonna be Valentina's job to land this now. Jeb is in the failed craft. We need to get the launch clamps. Structural, here we go. Okay, so this needs to reach orbit, and we're fine. So this is gonna be Orbiter 2. It's not really a good name for it, but whatever. Launch. Check your staging. Didn't do that, so I'll have to do that now. Can't decouple the wings. You have to give me an engineering reason why a rocket would be built with decoupling wings. And I don't think you can. Zoom ahead a little bit. Get ourselves up to, well, about the apoapse, about 150. And I think it's safe to say this rocket can get to orbit. Pretty damn easily, actually. And we are golden. Circularized. Run 150. Done. Has 800 meters per second left. And that's where we would be with our other craft. So we can get this thing to orbit easily without the fins. I already knew that, but had to prove it so that we could proceed. So there we go. Burning right on the Terminator. Yeah, man. Perfect execution. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part here. Nope. This part. It wasn't this part. What was it? What part was it? It wasn't this. It was... I think it was this. I think it was right here. Yeah. Right? Let's check. Correct. So we're going to take this. Pop that there. We're going to send this to orbit. We're just going to edit it into orbit. We're going to take this to none. And actually, we should leave this on. We should leave this on because we're going to 150, and I used the monopropellant to get us down. Also, since we're going to 150, I just launched the craft with full monopropellant. So we should have full monopropellant. There's no reason why we shouldn't have that. Because we got to 150 with it. So since we're at 150 there, I will decrease it a little bit because we used some to dock to this. So let's just kick that. Call that good. So this is where that's going to be. And Valentina will be in this rocket. So we're going to call this first. So we're going to take and put this in orbit. And then we're going to dock the new third module to it. And then try to land without the fins. Consider using Werner engines as RCS to decrease the mass. These are like virtually not... There's like no mass here. And they're super... They do more thrust than the Werners. Well... Not Werners, but I don't know if they do more thrust than the Werners. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everybody's got a way I would do it, and you know what? So many different ways that work. We're gonna set orbit of Kerbal, minimum safe orbit. Go. Let's get this. Extend all solar. We need to put this at 150. I am terrible at doing this. Semi-major axis. I am terrible at that. I wish they would just make this nice and simple and say, oh, you're circularized at this altitude. I wish they would do that, but it's not scientific enough for them. So it is what it is. We're gonna go with, let's see, what do we want to do here? Try that. See how bad I am at this? Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Off the cuff estimations. Pretty bad. 200. Let's go 75 then. 150. There we go. Cruising at 150. That's exactly where we would be. Give or take a little bit, but whatever. It's an inconsequential amount of stuff. Hi, Draggle. Welcome back. Accidentally closed stream rip. My constant moon is just lol. Consider using... Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Just trying to get this challenge done. So we'll have this face retrograde for now. It's fine. We'll turn it on its side a little bit here like this. And we'll just call that good. Okay. Back to the Space Center. We're going to launch the launch we did before, which is exactly the same in every single way, except we're going to do it without the fins. That's the only thing we changed is the fins. So we'll just do the exact same rocket in the exact same way and call it a day. There you go. Exact same way and call it a day. How has my puzzle overlays progressed? What do you mean? Progressed how? Like, what overlays are you referring to? Did I save it? I did save it, right? I saved section 3. Yep. This is our ridiculous looking section 3. Perfect. Take the fins away. And that's all we changed. So there you go. Same exact launch. Everything is exactly the same as it was before. No big deal. Let's go. Has to fit the requirements. Has your question been answered? Oh, just take a look at the About Me panel below the stream. But the short answer is yes and yes. It's the short and long of it. Okay. Checking staging really quick. Everything in this ridiculous rocket looks fine. Let's go. I see your question. I'll get to you in a second, Draggle. I want to get this. I'm going to focus on this just for a second. I'll get to you in a second. Wow, I need to probably relaunch. I'm going to relaunch this. I was trying to read chat at the same time. I'm going to relaunch that because that... Have I played FTL? I have not played FTL. I've heard a lot of good things about FTL, but I have not played FTL. Get rid of that. We're going to burn this immediately, I think. Yeah. Even though it's not very efficient in the atmosphere, we're going to end up jettisoning it before we actually use the fuel if I don't. So I might as well just use the fuel. And I can push it up higher, which is nice. I'm doing pretty good, man. Had a little bit of a stressful day, but that kind of what happens when your toddler is sick. My kid got a 102 fever yesterday at daycare late in the day while I was live, and they actually called while I was live and I didn't pick it up, obviously. My wife had to get out of work a little early, pick him up, and bring him home. And the daycare has a policy, rightfully so, it makes sense, that if your kid is sick, you can't come in the next day unless you have a doctor's note. So he had to stay home today. He's kind of ornery and tired this morning, but like after his afternoon nap and stuff, after I fed him and stuff, he was like jumping around, bouncing around, doing everything he normally does. So he's fine now. Actually, this was much more efficient than before. This worked out much better than before, guys. We're actually going to use all this fuel. Actually, I should probably stay behind Prograde, because I need to raise the apoapsis anyway. I need to get it to 150, so I might as well just stay back here. Nice. That's my very first Let's Play ever. So it starts off slower. It starts off with a less confident Charlie. It doesn't quite know what he's doing in terms of the actual Let's Play genre of media production Charlie. It's like the thing I look back on and can cringe a little bit, but it progressively gets like better and better production value as you go. It's very, very nice. And now the way it is, it's highly edited, exquisitely produced 1440p 60 content on every single video now, but it wasn't that way before. What kind of song request do I accept? None right now. No, right now. If I have song requests open, you'll see it in. Excuse me. If I have song requests open, you'll see viewer DJ in the title of my stream. And I rarely do song requests. Sometimes, but like, it's just really rare. My trucking streams, I'll do song requests on the trucking streams. We do some trucking every now and then. American Truck Simulator. We'll do that sometimes. But generally speaking, I maintain an atmosphere that I'd like to have usually, which is either like, you know, like a chill environment like what KSP normally is, or just in-game sound. Or primarily we immerse ourselves in the games we're playing. We don't have a whole lot of music in our streams here. So generally speaking, you'll get an aura or an atmosphere that I'm looking for. KSP atmospheric sounds are pretty chill. Yeah, the music is. This isn't the game music. The music you're hearing now is a completely different mix for stuff like that. It actually was a different mix, but now that mix is over, I guess. So I kind of want to go back to the other one, to be honest. This is fine. It's like a 4-hour mix of space music, so. Yeetus Christ. Thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. I've been obsessed with Loving You by... Yeah. Woodchuck. Woodchuck, hey man, you just got paid. Also, I prefer any streaming content to videos because I get to annoy you almost in real life. Hey, I appreciate that, man. You can annoy me anytime with those bits. Hashtag sellout. All right, let's get up to... I'm not even in orbit yet. I mean, I guess I am technically in orbit, but I'd like to... I need to raise the periapsis up, I think. Maybe I need to lower. Where am I relative to my target? We are doing orbiter 2, correct. So... I didn't wait for... Normally, you want to wait for the craft to be in alignment. I didn't wait for it because I'm streaming and I'm having a good time with you guys. I'm not paying attention. That's pretty much it. You just got me the yellow card? Is that what that is? Yeah, it's a yellow card. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. I'm loving your hat, damn. I mean, it's a thing. There's like a hat theme around the channel bit. A little bit. So even our emotes, we don't have... There's so many Twitch channels out there that have hearts. Like there's so many hearts. And I thought we should be a little bit different. There's enough hearts. So we kind of tip our hats to things here that we approve of. Like Draggle throwing 128. Have some doggo bits. I appreciate that, man. Thanks so much for that. Uncle Skeezer with the gold ones. Yeah, man. Some good stuff. So all of the new names, hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Again, like I said, we're going to be playing Kerbal Space Program at least once per week. Primarily, we're going to be playing it with the as recording sessions for Conquering KSP on YouTube, primarily. Tonight and potentially tomorrow night if I don't finish it tonight, which doesn't look good for me finishing it tonight. We're doing what's called a reverse launch challenge. You can use !challenge in the chat if you want to see the objective. It's a very quick explanation, but essentially we are building a craft in orbit. We have to build the rocket in orbit and then land it on the launch pad, just like it would be if it had launched to orbit, but it's in reverse, which is why we're also in a retrograde orbit as well. That's why we're chilling retrograde right now. I don't have any tattoos or piercings, no. I don't have any of that. I don't have anything against people who do. It's just not my thing. Woodchuck, 3 months in a row. I had to get the gold hat tier 2. Woodchuck, thank you so much for the tier 2 sub, man. That means a lot to me, bro. I appreciate that, dude. Now you got yourself the gold hats. That's awesome, man. Enjoy those. Thanks you so much for that. That's cool. Also have to update the... I haven't yet updated the sub streak. Whoops. Wrong button. I didn't upgrade the sub streak yet. You guys have been tearing it up ridiculous. 142 days in a row. That is freaking bonkers. It is freaking bonkers. Very, very cool, dude. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. Giver's on cooldown, correct. Also, you have to spell Tesla correctly if you want her on the screen. It's the only way. You have to spell her correctly. Or rather, you have to spell redeem correctly. You didn't spell redeem correctly. All right, so there you go. So if orbital 2 is here. If I want to get to here, this thing's pulling away from me, so I actually don't want to go above it. I want to go below it. So what I should do is bring my apoapsis down. To about 161. We can go to like 152. Right to 150 would be better, wouldn't it? Let's do that. Get that thing aimed that way. What a good doggo. 10 out of 10 pupper. Yeah, she's a 10 out of 10, all right. Her name is Tesla, and she is not zero emission. She's not zero emission. They should update KSP to have Tesla? You mean like have a Tesla car? Is that what you mean? Like a part? Oh yeah, Arne, yeah, links aren't allowed unless they're pre-approved. There are like a dozen pre-approved links that would work if you left it, but the random forum links aren't one of them. But Remember of Life can do it. So there you go. Starman's Tesla Roadster. There you go. Okay. So we're sitting here waiting for an 18-minute maneuver, or waiting for a maneuver in 18 minutes. No, we're not. We're going to speed it up, and then we're going to do it. In we go. Turn ourselves around. Nope, we're good here, actually. Okay, let's bring ourselves... Let's bring the apoapsis down to about 150. There we go, good enough. So we should consistently be catching up to our target now. We're probably going to catch up to it too far. Probably. Position of target. Okay, so we're not going to go too far. That's good. That's good to know. Let's take the apoaps now. I'm going to raise this up. Interesting. So that's going to... Oh, wow. Interesting. This makes us pass it. Very peculiar. This is going to make us pass right by it. Well, on the plus side, we can then approach from the top, but I didn't want to do that. Can we do this earlier? I really don't want to pass right by it. Maybe we can, if we adjust it to where it's like right on top. This is a 5.5 kilometers. This is fine. Can we go even closer? Right there. What's this? 1.8 kilometers. That's what I want to see. Let's do that maneuver. 2 kilometers away. In the middle of the night, of course. Gotta do it. You gotta make your rendezvous at the. If you didn't know, you always should make your rendezvous at the dark side, because it's so good to do that. That's the only explanation. It's so good to not have light when you're doing precise things. So good. So good. Inclination, not a problem. We launched pretty much right on it. We don't have to fix it. That's good. Charlie, I disagree. You must do it at the end of the dark side. Oh, well, I mean, to each his own, I guess, because I prefer to be blind. Also, I think it makes a really great stream if you can show people nothing while you're doing it. Yeah. There's a pretty serious looking kappa going on right here. Just saying. I'm so sick of doing maneuvers at night. So sick of making rendezvous at night. It's how it always turns out, though. It'd be different if I like waited for the damn thing to be around me when I launched the vessel. If I just wait for it to be lined up and then launched during the day when it happened, then everything would be fine. But I'm just too stupid to do things the way they're supposed to be done. Gotta be different. Do you have a YouTube channel? There you go. Yeah. There's 100. If you use the KSP command in the chat, if you're specifically interested in KSP, if you use that in the chat, you're gonna be the KSP command in the chat. That'll get you to the playlist where you can see all sorts of YouTubey goodness.